Good morning. So, Jaylena woke up before I did, had coffee ready. I'm still sleepy.
Well, Jason said I want to wake up early tomorrow, get to start on the day, and I woke up at 6:45 ish, and took care of business.
You pooped that early?
No, I got ready and made coffee. I ate an orange for breakfast.
I thought I smelled something citrusy. I thought you were spraying something.
I don't normally eat breakfast, but I had an orange, and they say you should eat fruits in the morning because of the sugar. You can burn it off throughout the day. So it needed to be eaten, so I ate it. It was good.
I would wake up. I probably woke up like 20 times last night. Just constantly.
I didn't sleep very well.
So, I'm a little bit tired today. But, yesterday we were kind of looking. Those are the goats. Hey.
They're
Children. We were looking at the van. It's pretty close to being done. And, we started kind of having conversations and stuff about it. And, just kind of trying to see what these goats are fighting.
Grandma's just knocking off all the goats.
Playing King of the Hill.
Yeah.
And, kind of just seeing.
Uh-oh.
And then now we got a bug up here being eaten alive by a spider, which is pretty cool.
That's scary. I've never seen a spider like that.
That's awesome.
That's not awesome.
It's literally
gross.
Killing it and eating it right now. That's legit.
He's gotta eat his breakfast.
That's National Geographic stuff right there. But, yeah, we started looking at the van, and really and truly, there's not much left to do. There's,
Let's do some trimming.
Some countertop.
The cedar on the other side, which there's not a whole lot of wall to do as far as cedar goes.
No. And it just need, countertops, the doors for all the cabinets, and finish the wall.
Well, and then the doors themselves, like put the whole thing there, but that won't be nothing. Because I'm just gonna use the cedar like I did on the walls for those parts.
But I don't know if y'all can see Grandma over here. But don't scratch on that, really.
Grandma.
Scratching on the freaking camera thing. Go.
Grandma owns the place. This is her world. We're just living in it.
But, we were just like, wow, there's really not much left to do in the van, like in the grand scheme of things on it. Grandma. Come here. She's gonna start scratching. Go. And, I was just like, well, what's the plan? Where are you going? Are you trying to go sooner than later? Do you have any ideas of like, do you want to go east, west, north, south? What's your plans?
And I really don't have a plan. Like I've said from day one, I guess, is I'm just taking it day by day. So we were kind of talking and basically came up with the plan, I guess, to basically I'll be leaving for 2 weeks at a time, and then I'll come back and help Jason build and stuff for 2 weeks, and that way I can kind of take shorter trips that aren't too far while I'm still kind of getting used to the whole van life thing, and then still being able to come back here and help them build and kind of just continue to help each other.
Yeah, that way, I don't know what the van will look like when she comes back from her first trip. I'm sure there'll be some repairs.
We almost got a wreck yesterday.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. A Jeep was driving around a corner and kind of switched lanes.
Yeah, it being Labor Day, I'm assuming that they may have been under the influence, but they were very close to the line in the road, and so I already moved over a little bit, but you can only go so far on the roads out here. And then last second,
It was close.
He went over the line into my lane, and I had to swerve pretty hard, and there was a car behind me, and it was pretty scary. Shook me up a little bit.
But yeah, I'm sure after the first trip or first couple trips, you know, she'll realize, hey, I don't like this about the van, or I need to add this. So they might have to go in and customize some stuff, maybe redo some stuff.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal if, you know, if stuff needs to change. That's the
beauty of it, I guess.
Yeah, it's so small, and you're not really putting too much money into it. It's kind of like the tiny house. You know, a lot of people are like, you need to have an exact plan what you're going to build. You're like this. But it's more of a visual thing. I gotta kind of see it. But it's also like, once you're in it, you're like, okay, this is where the counter's going to be, this and that. Okay, if I would have built it just like I wanted, I wouldn't have room for this, you know. And originally, this was going to be the bathroom. Now it's going to be like a room / like office.
I think after building like the shed to house and stuff, it's like we kind of learned that planning exactly what you want is probably not going to happen.
Yeah, and it's like
everything changes.
Yeah, and you could have an exact plan and go with it, but pretty much anybody that I know that has ever built a house, they always say, well, I wish I had this, you know, and that's after the fact, because they literally give blueprints to a contractor and they just build it, which is great. And I understand on the bigger scales, you don't really want to wing a huge house, you know, but something like this is so small, it's real easy. And something like a van, I mean, say the little kitchen area in the van, it's one little cabinet, you know, that's the goat. Say she's like, you know what, I didn't even use that, I didn't even need any of that, I want it out. You know, then take it out, it's not a big deal. Or replace it with, maybe she's like, all right, I don't want that there, but I do want a thing of water. Well, guess what, we'll take it out and build a thing for water, you know. So whatever it may be, you know, kind of figure it out. Plus, you still got to figure out, you know, things on the back. Like if you want like a rack on the back that fits like in the hitch part. And now the goats are really about to start fighting right here. Hey!
They got their horns
Go.
together.
Go. Grandma, you just caused trouble today, ain't you?
Grandma's udders look like they're getting full.
Yeah. But I know some of you are thinking, why don't you just put the goats up? Well, they jumped the fence, so that's the one issue right now, so we gotta get that fixed. And I didn't feed them this morning yet, so that's what they're doing, they're waiting. But
they normally don't get fed this early anyways.
No. But yeah, I don't know, it's just one of those things that, you know, we were kind of just thinking like, well, you know, what's gonna happen, stuff like that. And you know, it's great having help, you know, building all this stuff, and it's really hard to do by yourself. And you know, at the beginning of all this, I was just like, nope, I'm doing everything myself. Then I realized, like, nope, accept the help, get it done, and you know, stuff like that. It's the same thing with the van. You know, she could have built it all herself. It's just easier when you have someone helping you. And you know, I absolutely love to travel, and if I was in, you know, Jaylena's shoes, you know, of course, get in the van and go. But I don't think I'd want to travel like full time all the time. So I think doing the 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off would probably keep you sane.
Yeah.
You know.
And I feel like it'd keep it exciting and like gives you something to look forward to.
Yeah, and it gives you time to come back and rest and, you know,
plan out my next trip. And because I want it to be planned out to where I know where I'm going instead of just driving and picking random spots.
I think that's fun, but not every trip.
What, planning it out?
No, not planning it.
Oh.
You know, because we did a trip. We went to Colorado, which is correct, 2 years ago. That music video came out 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And Brian posted that, and I was like, 2 years? But yeah, we went to Colorado 2 years ago, and we went camping in
We went camping all around the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, but what's that?
That's since Park or whatever it's called. Or
No,
New Mexico.
No. The first place I think we camped, um, something Springs, Dripping Springs.
Oh yeah.
Something like that near Pikes Peak. Because we were going to go to Pikes Peak, and then we got there too late, and we didn't have enough gas in the truck, because you had to have like half a tank of gas or something like that.
Oh yeah, to go up the hill.
And we got there pretty late, so we didn't get to do that. So we drove around. We went camping at this one place. I think it ended up being like a KOA or something, and that was cool. They had a pool. We got in.
It was a heated pool. It was in the winter.
And yeah, and so we got in there, and then we went up and we went up to Denver, and we hung out with friends, shot a music video. Then we went to
The Ghost Ranch?
No, that's after. Then we went to, I guess it was just the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, we camped in like 4 or 5 different camping spots within the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, we went and did that.
There was one, or actually there was a couple, and they were like, yeah, there's been some bear sightings.
Oh, yeah.
Leave all your... Oh, and then we went to one, we thought it said free camping.
It said fee camping.
We both thought it said free camping, and so we were all... pitched our tent, got the fire going, the people come, and...
They're like, what are you doing? We're like, camping. And they're like, well, aren't you going to pay? We're like, no, it's free. And we didn't know who they were. They're like, no, we're the camp host. It's not free. I said, the sign up front says free. They said, no, it says fee. I said, that's the dumbest. Who would post fee camping?
Yeah.
It's retarded. And so we're like, whatever. And then we're like, how much is it? And they were like $20 or something like that.
Yeah, cash only.
Yeah, cash only. And we were just like, I don't know if we have cash. Luckily, we probably had like $300 in ones for some reason.
It was because it was my Warped Tour tip money.
Yeah, it was after we went on tour, and she was selling like merch and stuff, and the people would tip. And it just happened that we had the money for that. You know, if not, we'd be sleeping in the truck somewhere else. But yeah, we did all that, and then we were just like, let's go to New Mexico. I said, I think I had looked something up, like Googled something, and it was Ghost Ranch in New Mexico. And it's where a bunch of big movies were filmed. And my favorite movie that was filmed there was City Slickers. And yeah, I think there was like Independence Day was filmed there.
Cowboys versus Aliens, the Ridiculous Six.
Yeah.
What's that one that we watched?
I don't know. I saw it on Netflix the other day.
I think it
was a cowboy movie.
What's that guy's name? Christian Bale?
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called. But we went there, and that ended up, I want to go back.
Yeah, it was really, I want to go do the tours.
Yeah, you can actually like get on a horse, and they'll do like horseback, and you can go. And
Year
like,
One was filmed there too.
Yeah, and they'll take you. Yeah, we watched that, and they'll take you around and show you the spots where everything was filmed, and I don't know. It's a pretty cool experience. I'm sure some of you guys have probably been there, but yeah, it was just really cool. And then
they have like a church and a library on site. They had a cafeteria. It was like a rehab facilitation too, I think, but more like a spiritual rehab thing.
Yeah.
But
not around the campground part.
Yeah, it was just
they had buildings, but you'd go eat at the same place though, I guess.
Yeah, and then they had like buildings that, what would you call it, dry camping or something, where they didn't have ACs or anything, but they had windows and buildings and stuff. But we just did tent camping.
Yeah, and
you hear the coyotes at night.
Yeah, which is funny. They had an old building that was there, like a house. You didn't stay in it. You just get to go like look in it, and it was small. It was like a tiny house.
Oh yeah.
But it was built, with the like adobe on the side, and they put logs on top and put adobe and stuff on it and all that. And I remember asking Jaylena, I was like, could you live in something like this, like something this small? And then now I'm like living in something, that small. So it's pretty funny how. Well,
I think it used to be occupied like back in the early like 1900s. But...
Yeah. But it's just weird, and it's crazy to think like on that trip, that specific trip, when we were in Colorado, we were waiting. We had like an hour or two to kill before meeting up with the band for the music video, and we went walking on this trail, and it was just pretty much almost all flat, grass, but it had trails. But you could see the mountains in the background and stuff. And
That was cool.
yeah, it was awesome. And we were just kind of, you know, walking and talking and stuff. And we said, we got to come up with some way to be able to travel, but make money doing videos, And we were going to try to do kind of like music videos for bands, but like in different states and travel that way, kind of.
At the time, all we were doing for income was Crocker Productions.
Yeah, we were doing basically music videos and photos and stuff like that for bands. And we were just like, that'd be cool if we just did it full time on the road and traveled. And it wasn't long after that, we were just like, let's start a YouTube channel. So 2 years later, Jaylena's going to be on the road, traveling, full-time as your job. So it's sometimes life takes you where you need to be. It just takes a little bit and maybe in a different form. So if, you're like, man, that didn't work out. Because I was super bummed when kind of quit doing music videos and all that stuff. Like, it was a really, really fun part of my life. But at the same time, it was very stressful and time-consuming. And unfortunately, you can call it kind of like politics in it and stuff like that. Like, there's just a lot of stuff that on the downside of it. But it's just crazy to think 2 years later, the goal was to get on the road full time. Well, at least trips and get paid doing that, doing videos. But you get to make videos about yourself.
Yeah.
For
Kinda
yourself.
share-
Yeah, it's crazy.
Share your life with people.
Yeah, the world kind of turned around a little bit for you, put you in the direction you wanted, just a little bit different direction.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think that's like a cool thing that if anyone else is out there thinking like, hey, I want to do this, but it's not really working, it might be just aligning you this way to make it work.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I wanted to do. It's not how I thought it would happen at all, but here I am, and it's happening.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's life happens, life changes, and sometimes we make plans and goals, and sometimes those plans don't work out, but you got to keep your eye on the goal and keep that in mind and work towards it. And
yeah, it'll put you. I got coffee on my mustache. And wish the stories would already get 40,000 so I could shave this off. But yeah, it just kind of just one of those things that life will take you where it needs to take you, and sometimes, it's like us. We went through a bad spot in our lives, but you have to look at it. If everything didn't happen the way it happened, right now would not be happening. Even good and bad and all that, you just have to think it was for a reason, and if we never were like going through, kind of like our split up or whatever, it may have never happened where you got a van and we're going to travel. That was something before we bought the travel trailer. We looked at vans and we almost bought one. I'm glad we didn't. The sucker was old and it had the big bubble top. It was cool, but it didn't run very good.
Well, and then we were literally on the road on our way to buy. It's kind of like a bus.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't a bus.
It was a shuttle.
Yeah.
Kinda.
And we were like on our way to buy it. And the guy was like, this other guy is supposed to come. At this time, he hasn't come yet. If y'all come right now, I'll sell it to you. And we were like,
on the way.
Yeah, we were like 30 minutes into the drive and he texted us and was like, hey, this other dude showed up.
Yeah.
And we didn't buy it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of times that we were close to getting it, but didn't. And then, kind of just takes you this way. And I think it all worked out, the way it needed to work out. And, some things, things happen in life. And, some things just are meant to be and some aren't. I guess that's the only way to really put it. And
everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think that's out of our hands.
Mm-hmm.
There's, a bigger picture out there, and we're just kind of, I guess, playing the role. I don't know a good way to describe it, but I guess God has a plan for everybody, and just see what happens, I guess. I don't know. And I think that's the cool thing with, you know, Jaylena coming up here and stuff. And we talked about it yesterday a little bit. Neither one of us expected Jaylena to still be here. Like we just thought like, okay, she'll come up for a little bit and just be like, okay, yeah, this was it. I'm out, but we were just like, hey, we're actually like really good friends, and it turned out better than we thought, and so it kind of was able to really and truly put Jaylena up here, which is closer to Kansas. That's where she found the van. The van was a really good deal. It ended up being that the lady, we bought the van from, her son watched the channel. It's just this weird thing. So I think, everything does happen for a reason. And,
well, and it's like I had the money in my pocket for the van, and then my car breaks down, kind of forces you to buy another vehicle. So, I mean, like I said, I believe everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if everything kind of fell into place.
Yeah. And now the crazy thing is when you hit the road, it might put you meeting somebody, and it's like Dawn of Van Life. We talk about her, and the crazy thing is, enough of you guys went to her channel and commented, and now they're talking.
Yeah, she messaged me on Instagram, and we talked for a while, and hopefully at some point, we were talking about meeting up at some point, and that wouldn't have happened if it weren't for, YouTube and our YouTube family, and so...
And
thank you guys for that.
That could lead to something bigger, like you never know. And that's the crazy thing. And, especially going out on the road, like you might meet a bunch of cool people that, who knows where it'll lead, there's no idea what's going to happen, but it's like, I don't know. It's one of those weird things that like, even though we're on YouTube, it's still like a really cool feeling when it's like, oh man, I watched this YouTube channel, now I'm like talking to him and I can like meet him and hang out and stuff. Like it's still that same thrill, I guess. So I don't know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I've always been a very shy person. So being on the road and meeting new people, I hope will kind of help me get out of my comfort zone basically, and kind of socialize more, but in a way that's like you're not going to the bar, like you're meeting these people probably at like campsites and stuff, and
in your
camping
realm
together. Yeah, and it's just I'm hoping it'll be a really cool experience.
Yeah, and almost any time we ever went camping, we were kind of talking about this yesterday too. Jaylena said, I wish, when we were younger, we could have gone camping more and, that type of thing. And I was like, yeah, every summer, my parents would just be like, let's go to the river. We'd go to the Frio River in Texas. And almost every year that we went camping, we would make friends with the other kids and stuff like that. Now it's like another part of the excitement. So being able to do that as an adult, is a really cool thing.
Yeah, I didn't get to, growing up, my mom was a single mom working and going to school, and I just didn't get to experience any of that as a kid. So
when y'all live more of the city life, I guess, than
we lived
country
in
life, I guess.
The suburbs of Dallas all my life, and I'd go camping with friends a couple times, but when I was like 13, I didn't get to go to the river. I've never floated a river before or anything like that, so even to this day. So hopefully I'll get to experience more of that as an adult.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, sometimes it's cool doing stuff as an adult that you couldn't do as a kid. And it's like whenever we were younger, we went on a trip, and it was one of those trips where it was just, there was really not a real plan. My parents were just like, pack your clothes, and like we left for like a month or something. I don't remember how long we were gone, but we had a old green machine van that ended up being mine and Jared's first vehicle. Literally just packed up and just drove. Some nights we had to sleep in parking lots with 18-wheelers because there was nowhere to get a hotel. Sometimes, we went to the Grand Canyon and, the Smoky Mountains and, all that stuff. We went, I think it was like 13 states, but it was one of those where it wasn't planned. And then sometimes you went places that was planned. And I think the cool thing now is, for Jaylena is, she makes the decisions. It's not it's not parents making the decisions and you're sitting in the back. It's you get to make the decision of, do I keep driving today? Do I think that's cool? Do I get to stop? I don't know. It's something that I thought was cool that you had pointed out with Dawn of Van Life. She fell asleep in the parking lot, woke up, and it was this like alien thing that she didn't even know, and she ended up liking it. Like you just never know where it'll take you.
Yeah. I think the only traveling I did as a kid was when we moved from Washington to Texas, and we stopped a few places. Like, I have a picture of me I would think I was 2. Or no, I wasn't 2. How old was I? Anyways, like, me as a kid in front of Mount Rushmore, but I don't remember any of that. So, to kind of go now and soak it in as an adult, know that I'm making these memories that I'm actually going to remember, is a cool feeling. I'm excited and looking forward to it.
Maybe you'll have a day to remember.
Yeah. It'll be monumental.
As long as your friends aren't just degenerates, it'd be all right. Somebody out there has to know what we're talking about.
I hate this town, so.
Yeah. On that note, we're getting off. If you got that, comment down below. Most of you probably didn't. You're like, what are y'all talking about? That's what happens when you work with bands for a long time. Anyways, guys, this was a little bit longer. We didn't post a video yesterday, and so, we just figured we'd kind of chit-chat and kind of fill you guys in on what Jaylena kind of has planned and, kind of that type of thing. And we know a lot of people have asked, and pretty much to sum it up is roughly 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. She'll go out and enjoy it, and maybe sometimes, I'll go with her on certain trips. I can't be gone too long because of the animals, stuff like that, but, it'd be cool to finally take the van out and use it for what it was meant to be used for. So, we'll see you all on the next one, and hope you guys have an awesome day.
Bye.
Bye.